Perspicacity, Season 4, written wholly by Brian Fredwell McGregor. Copyright 2016-2018. Perspicacity Season 4, Episode 10. Understanding a Little Love. The words understanding a little love appear on screen in white writing in the middle of the screen. Underneath appears a short story by Brian Fredwell McGregor, also in white writing, but smaller. Paolo Amari always dreams of so much more. These words appear in an even smaller white font, underneath the other sentences that are above it, on a black screen. The screen, which is still black, then lightens up to random pictures of a forest. A rather deep, meaningful older male voice now says, slowly, very slowly, "The thoughtful thinker always thinks thoughtfully." Paolo Amari always dreams of so much more, but usually got so much less, until Paolo Amari met up with his true love. The screen darkens slowly, then lightens up slowly and surely to a man in a large butterfly house where hundreds of butterflies float around. There is a rather beautiful butterfly now resting on his ring finger, which he identifies as the Painted Lady. Yeah, I think that's correct. And you are my favourite, he then adds. He gazes at this butterfly, then slowly whispers, I wish I would one day come back as one, or leave this great world as one. Paolo smiles, laughs a little almost. Now I know that's not going to happen. No. Well, I suppose I best get ready for my date. Paolo has tens of types of butterflies fluttering around in his butterfly house, which he knows almost nothing about. At this point, the butterfly flies off his ring finger, and as he then leaves the butterfly house, closing the door behind him, he facilitates its maiden flight out to the wild of the forest. He now wanders into his woodland cabin, then gets ready for his date. Paolo changes into a suit with tie, getting ready for his speed dating session, which he is attending in a nearby local restaurant. He is only expecting a few people, as it's quite a quiet little backwater town. He then whispers while straightening up his tie, "You never know who I might meet. Another collector even, you never know. She might even teach me about them, and well, it probably won't happen." He kind of smiles into his wooden oval bedroom mirror as he says this. He grabs his keys from his bedside table, then heads out to his car, an older vehicle but still quite smart. He drives down his woodland driveway to the restaurant, humming away to a tune on the radio, which has quite a nice beat to it, whilst tapping his finger on the steering wheel all the way there. He eventually arrives. Only one person is there. The place is desolate. Paolo then adds, "Speed dating, eh? With one person. I better take it slow." He raises his eyebrows and smiles awkwardly, all tight-lipped. He walks up to a table which is clearly earmarked for speed dating. He now introduces himself, clearing his throat. "Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Paolo, and you are?" "Vanessa, nice to meet you too." Paolo sits down when Vanessa ushers him to. "So what do you do, Paolo?" "Well, I work at a convenience store and I've got a butterfly house. But I'm a complete beginner. I truly know nothing about them, but I try." Vanessa then asks, "So what is your favourite?" Paolo replies, "The Painted Lady. I think it's called that. They are just beautiful. However, I'm thinking I will reuse the ground for vegetables or fruits, or try to." "Why?" asks Vanessa. It was more of a fad than anything else, really, Vanessa. I have more money than sense sometimes, Paolo replies whilst holding his hands up. Your accent is quite unique to these parts, Vanessa. Where is it from? Well, I'm a West Coast lady living a more rural life now. I live nearby, although I have not been here long. I've been single a while, but upwards and onwards, as they say, or maybe one day that will happen. She says this while smiling, albeit sadly and tight-lipped. They then get several drinks on the go and chat for an hour or so about life, love, laughing. Could I see you again? Asked Paolo towards the end of the date. Sure thing, replies Vanessa. Some 50 years later, at Paolo's and Vanessa's woodland cabin, both of them are in bed. You know, Vanessa, I have always wished we had children. But even more so than that, I wish I'd kept my butterfly house all those years ago. 50 years now or so since it was levelled. Vanessa smiles. Now I know I knew nothing about them, but I tried. I could have learned, you know, adds Paolo. Vanessa, now listening intently, smiles yeah again. Paolo then says, I know it's silly, yeah, and I guess as the saying goes, I'm an old fool, but I wish I could one day be as that butterfly, even just for a moment, as one with the breeze, so to speak, when the time comes, whenever that may be. It's wistful, I know, and unrealistic too, but for some, it is not. They really believe in this kind of stuff, Vanessa. A guy at the bar says, he says. Vanessa stops in mid-sentence and rubs Paolo's grey hair, saying, let's get some sleep, huh? It's getting late, real late, huh? They then share the smallest kiss, just a peck, at which point they click off their bedside table lights. Both Paolo and Vanessa, now in their 90s, start falling asleep whilst gazing at the open window as the night falls. However, just before they fall asleep, Vanessa then whispers, well, it's now or never. My nickname was the Painted Lady in his ear. Paolo, almost asleep, smiles broadly. I have always wanted to tell you, always, but only when the time was right. That time is now, right now. She turns her head back. They then both close their eyes fully, smiling away as the light fades. The camera now fully focuses on the open, wooden, varnished window. The camera now goes outside this woodland cabin, where a stiff autumn breeze blows. It's getting a bit darker now. There is then random pictures of a windswept forest where a breeze blows, leaves in the trees rustle, when suddenly the camera flashes back to this couple's bedroom window. Though just outside the woodland cabin as night approaches. The camera now focuses upon the cabin's bedroom. At this point, two beautiful butterflies now float out of this open window, upwards, onwards, to the woodland sky in this autumn evening from this cabin upon the breeze. There is now a close-up, haunting picture of these two lovely butterflies, both of which flutter off quite the thing into the woodland sky together, but as one in unison, so to speak. The screen darkens even more so, now to black, then lightens up slowly to the bedroom, now empty and cleaned. Some 2 months later, 3 people are now standing in the same cabin bedroom, albeit empty together, a couple and a salesperson. And they add, it's a good buy, this one. The salesperson goes on to further say, it's a great one. In fact, it's one of the hottest properties, they then add, exaggerating its potential. The salesperson says this to the couple whilst pacing around, then standing still in the same, now empty, cabin bedroom. We have had a good look at this place, so what do you think? This couple are now looking around this last, final room of the tour, and whilst nodding gently and whilst smiling, they say, so what happened to the couple that lived here? The salesperson replies, well, nobody knows. They were here one day and gone the next, from what has been said, but I don't know. It's all local chatter. What people say in these parts. But, and this lovely two-bedroom retreat, or even family home, depending on how you look at it, could even be used as a primary home. It holds great fantastic potential for the right buyer. Anyway, the salesperson adds, as they clap their hands together, it's up for sale. First come, first served. What do you think, Em? The couple look at each other. We will take it, the couple say, whilst nodding at each other, forcing out the sentence. They then nod at the salesperson, who finally smiles, adding, okay. The screen then freezes and fades to black, very, very slowly. The screen then brightens up slightly. There's random pictures of the same forest once again. A now very deep, meaningful older voice then says in the background, slowly, very slowly, for Paolo Amari, forever is all he would dream of. Now he found his true painted lady. The screen now fades to black, slowly, very slowly. The screen, which is now wholly black, has a single white dot in the middle, which has blended in slowly. At this point, the words, in the depths of all our minds we find perspicacity, are then clearly spoken in a very deep, meaningful, older male voice, which almost chuckles at the very end of the phrase. The white dot now disappears with a sudden bloop. The words "the end" now appear in white writing centred on a solid black background. The End. A Fred Warren production, copyright 2016-2018.